Hey, Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. Hey, today we have Ben Tucker. He's the head men's basketball coach at Embry-Riddle, Arizona. They are the Eagles. The GSAC Coach of the Year is going to be with us next. Stay tuned. Cascade Hoops Talk starts right now. Cascade Hoops Talk, produced in the shadow of the beautiful Cascade Mountains and bringing the world NAIA basketball. One podcast at a time. Hey, today we have Ben Tucker, head men's basketball coach at Embry-Riddle. As I said, the GSAC Coach of the Year. That's no small feat when you look at the coaches in that conference. Really quite an honor. Last year they had a very young team. It took them a while to get rolling, but boy, I tell you, by the end of the season, I talked to coaches in that conference. Nobody wanted to play them. They came within the proverbial eyelash of beating the Masters at the Masters in the conference semifinals. And Coach Tucker is excited because this group really came a long ways last year, and he's brought in a few freshmen. He's going to talk about that. Let's take a listen to Ben Tucker, Embry-Riddle, Arizona. They are the Eagles. Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. I got a Ben Tucker, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, Arizona. That's a mouthful, Coach. Welcome to the show.
It is at times, but no, I appreciate you having me. Excited to talk about our guys and our program.
Last season, you went 8-6 in the conference. You came within an eyelash of 500 for the season. It was a very good year, especially. Was it your first year in the GSAC?
Yes, it was. Yeah, we were in the Cal Pac my first year here and then transitioned to the GSAC last season.
What do you think kind of spurred that? I think you outperformed where people thought you were going to be at the end of the season. What do you think kind of, pushed the team to that 8-6 GSAC finish, which was, and you came within an eyelash too and knocking off the Masters in the semis.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, all the credit goes to our guys, and we were really young. I haven't done the research on everyone, but I would be shocked if we weren't the youngest team in the country. We played 5 of our top 8 in our rotation were freshmen. One of them was a sophomore, so we were very, very young, and it showed. I think we started the non-conference. We went 5-9 in the non-conference. We went 3-4 our first time through league, and then that second time through league, we went 5-2. That's just a credit to those guys, getting experience, getting stronger, adjusting to, the differences of college basketball versus high school, and then just fitting in as a group. But it's credit to those guys. They stayed with it. They never wavered in kind of their trust of the program and what we were trying to do, understanding how important the weight room was, all of that. So it's those guys. We had really talented players, but they were really young. And I think we did surprise some people. Just it's not normal, in college basketball these days to run out 5 or 6 freshmen. So I don't know what people expected. I don't know what even we expected with how young we were last year, but super proud of those guys. And just it showed each step of the season we got a little bit better.
You talked about the second pass through the conference. I always say that a freshman or a young player period doesn't really know what to expect from any given conference until they get around to these road games one time. Because every gym, as you know, Coach, every gym is unique. Every crowd is unique. And some places are really intimidating that you wouldn't think would be intimidating. How important is that for guys to see that one time so that they're ready for it the next time? You can tell them till you're blue in the face, but they got to experience it.
Absolutely. There's nothing that replaces that experience. And, we knew how tough the GSAC was and had so much respect for the teams that were already in the league. A few of the teams that came with us, who we had played prior, we knew how tough and challenging it was going to be. And we tried to really challenge ourselves in the non-conference to, kind of speed up that process. It still took the time, and we still had to go play at the Masters and at Arizona Christian to really, feel that. But, we went to College of Idaho. We played them. Went and played 2 Division I games on the road, went up to Rocky and played them, to start our season, played them in Northern up there. So we had tried as much as we could to speed that up and get them into really good environments where, they just saw different crowds and obviously older, bigger, stronger guys. And there's nothing. I think you kind of see we were a little bit more prepared maybe that first time through conference. But once we saw that we could play, at this level, especially our guys, and that, we were good enough, even though we were young, to compete. We felt like we let a couple get away in the first cycle through, and just super proud of our guys. I mean, it came down to we had to beat life on the road the winner got the 4th spot in the conference tournament. So I think those games and that first time through league and all those minutes really prepared our young guys to stay calm. And, I think we trailed like 30 minutes out of 40 in that game. And it's just, again, a testament to those guys. And they just stayed confident, trusted the process, trusted each other. And, I really think that prepared us to give ourselves a shot in the conference tournament.
Yeah, you guys really kind of caught fire there at the end of the season. I remember talking to you several times toward the end of that GSAC. This year, as you build this team, which you're in the middle of, you've got guys probably coming to campus now or at campus now. Yep. What holes were you trying to fill? What was your mindset going into recruiting? Were you sticking with the freshmen, which is what your school normally does, or did you try to get some transfers? What were your holes you were trying to fill?
Yeah, so we brought in 4 guys. 3 were freshmen, and we brought in 1 transfer. Okay. But we had the 3 freshmen committed in the fall of last year. So we were really able to be patient and just try to, kind of fill the last spot, get the right guy. You mentioned we do take a lot of freshmen here. Obviously, we're a really strong academic school, known for the flight side of things, but an outstanding engineering school. 3 or 4 different programs that are in the top 20 in the country. Specific programs with engineering. And then we have a lot of unique specialized majors, all STEM programs. So we tend to take a lot more high school guys just with the nature of the school, a little bit of what we can do financially. We're able to package guys better that are high school as well. But with the nature of things and how everyone's kind of going transfer heavy, we actually feel like we've had a lot of success in the high school area. I mentioned earlier our top 5 scorers in conference play were all freshmen. So we brought all those guys back. So we were super excited about what we were returning. Like 76% of our points came back. So we were, we were pretty locked in there. So for us, it was about getting the right guys, the right pieces, continuing to just build on, what we did in the previous recruiting class. That was really our first full class. Once I've got here. So we were really excited with that group, loved the core. And for me, it was more about filling in the right pieces. The majority of what we lost production-wise was in our front court. So we did bring in 3 guys who were front court players, 2 freshmen, 1 graduate transfer who's a lot more experienced. So we just added experience, added some maturity and age, but then also some young guys who were just really motivated and energetic and enthusiastic about being here. And so excited to see their development. It's going to take time like it does with all freshmen. Ready to get rolling and excited about the class that we have coming in.
When you're out and recruiting the high school kids, how much of a draw is your academics, technical schools right now, and yours in particular, yep. Colorado School of Mines, we talked about. These schools, the students are highly sought after. They usually have a job well before they're graduated. I see this at Oregon Tech as well. How much of a draw is that for the high school kids and their families?
Yeah, it's huge. And I think our overall pool is probably smaller than a lot of schools. We always thought in Division I it was Stanford or whoever it may be, but I know it's probably similar for Oregon Tech and Mines and some of those schools like you mentioned. So I think our overall pool is a little smaller. But what I've felt since I've been here is once we find some of those guys who we know are talented enough, they fit culture-wise, academically they fit, we're able to, get further along quicker or more quickly because of the academic piece. So it's helped us a lot, and it also helps us kind of, cut through some of the weeds, to find the guys we really want. I'm not a big believer in recruiting, 30 guys and kind of what we used to call fake recruiting. I want to really get to know their family, get to know them, have deep conversations. So for me, I prefer to recruit, anywhere from 5 to 8 guys, whatever the year may call, and really get to know them, let them get to really know our program and our players, get to go evaluate them a lot more rather than maybe just, going to see 30 guys and I see them once and I kind of know them. And so I think the academic piece though has been big. It helps us figure out who's really interested right away. It lets us kind of cut through some of that stuff. And then we can really, get to the meat of it, which is that relationship piece for us, which, we want guys who really want to be here, who are about the same core values as us, that we can really help enhance them, make them the best version of themselves. But that academic piece is obviously very big. It's very big with a lot of the families. And so, we try to figure out who's serious about basketball, but who's serious about kind of that second phase of life after basketball ends.
You're going to come into practice here in, as we speak, less than 2 weeks.
Yep.
What are the items that you want to build on? In other words, what were the lessons you learned last year? You talked about maybe letting a few get away. Yeah, your team learned a lot as young players, but were the lessons learned, and what's going to be your focus as you kick off the practice this season?
Yeah, from an on the court standpoint, the two areas we talk about, three areas a lot: defend, rebound, and take care of the ball. I think we got a lot better defensively. Some of our deficiencies were just maturity and physically where we were as freshmen. The majority of our group, but specifically rebounding and then taking care of the ball. Our turnovers got a lot better as the year went on, as we got more experience. But our rebounding and our ability to take care of the ball are the reason we lost to the Masters. We actually shot, I think, 62% and 53% from three. They shot 40 and 30, but they had 19 more opportunities than we did because of offensive rebounds and turnovers.
Yeah.
So, and it was something that bit us early in the year. We got a lot better in each area, but that's kind of our main focus on the floor is, building our strength, building our habits, continuing to teach, and just make an emphasis on those two areas. The overall arching theme, though, for our program, which it's been since the day I got here and will always be, is just the consistency. We talk about the process, just like, I know a lot of programs do, but we really just try to stay true to that, really preach it and live it in everything we do of just, can we get a little bit better each day? All of us, I think, and especially young people, they want to look towards the conference tournament, trying to make the national tournament, all of our big goals. But for us, it's just staying in the process. Everything we did last year, good or bad, doesn't affect anything we do this year.
Right.
We've got a whole new team. So just trying to keep those guys, micro focused on each day. What can we do to get better? How can we come closer as a team? How can you get better academically? All of those little things, I truly believe that's what will, get us to where we want to go at the end of the year. So obviously as a coach, I'm focused on a lot of the on the floor stuff and big picture, but trying to keep those guys, as much small picture as we can, I think will really help, as we continue to mix these new guys in with our 10 returners.
Coach, you spent several years as an assistant with the Gauchos at Santa Barbara. You also worked at Northern Arizona. A lot of people don't know you also spent a year at College of Idaho, Scott Garson's first year. Playing in the GSAC, compare NAIA ball and GSAC ball to other conferences and other levels of basketball that you've been around.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the big thing that stands out, from my time in the GSAC is just the depth. It was a transition year a little bit for the conference last year with, so many new teams coming in. But you've got the staples, who are there year in and year out in Hope and Masters and Arizona Christian. And I think our conference is going to be even better this year. I think, as everyone kind of figures out the league for a year, you figure out what you need recruiting wise and what you need to do style of play. But comparing it to other leagues, it's the depth. There's not really any nights you go in and feel, like, okay, this is a 20, 30 point game, that we're walking into, that you're going to just roll somebody over. It just doesn't happen. There's too much talent. The coaching is outstanding top to bottom. We mentioned a little bit, we talked about environments. You go into the Masters and you can't even hear your guys in the timeout. Arizona Christian, I mean, it's night in, night out, and then you look at some of the coaching resumes, and then now I think we've added some young coaches in the league that are really hungry and getting after it, recruiting. And so it's exciting, but yeah, it's just a great league top to bottom. I think the top programs are, some of the best in the country, obviously. You look at what they've done, but I think the depth is what really makes it stand out, compared to some of the other leagues I've been in where, there's usually a couple games, hey, as long as we don't do something silly, we've got this taken care of. You just don't have that, especially on the road in this conference.
As you go into this season, tell the fans around campus there and also the fans around Prescott area, what can they expect from the Eagles? Tell us what they're going to see in this basketball team.
Yeah, I think the people that have been out, you're going to see what we've done in the past, but at an even higher level now that we have so many returners. Our first 2 years, it was almost like two new teams. So but we like to play really, really hard. We get after it defensively. That's where we hang our hat first and foremost, is really trying to bring an intensity, a blue collar style of play that really fits our area. It fits the people here that like to come to the games and that support our program. We play the right way. The ball is shared. We're a high assist the turnover team. But it's a really fun style. You know, we get stops, we play fast, we like to share the ball, get up and down. We shoot a lot of threes. So it's a fun style to come play. It's a really, really talented and league with a lot of depth. So not only are we exciting to play, but it's exciting games when you come and watch a GSAC game. So I just want people to come out, see how quality our young men are, how outstanding they are as people. And then it's a really, really good level of basketball that I think surprises people. And I know you talk about it all the time. It's just, it really is the best entertainment value in sports. You get great players. They're really talented. They have, you know, they're really in depth who they are as people. And it's just fun to come watch. And so we try to really embody that same style of basketball that I think that, you know, a lot of the NAIA is about.
Yeah, I'll say it. You know, you said it better, but I'll repeat. You just have to go out and watch this, and you'll love it because you're right there. You're right up close to the action. You get to know if you go all the time, you get to know who the players are. You get to meet their families are always there. Yep. It's just a special atmosphere. I don't think anything compares to it. I grew up in it, and I just fell in love with it. That's why, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but that's why many decades later, I'm still there every weekend, and
no doubt,
as long as I can do it. You know, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, I've been at.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been at a lot of levels, from Division II, every level of Division I, and it really is unique and special. And so we appreciate everything you do, highlighting, you know, our level and all of our programs. And yeah, as people come out and see it, they tend to always come back and end up falling in love with it.
Yeah, and that one thing that in particular, the NAI has done a really good job the last few years, really not only giving it lip service, but really assuring that the student athletes are student athletes, and there's a lot of emphasis on that. And these are really, you go out, you're going to find out these are really fine young men. I've interviewed a ton of them. I mean, they're really good people. And in the most cases, and when I talk to people on campuses, you know, staff and administrative people, the answer I get most when I asked about the academic performance of the athletes is that they're the best students on campus. Now, 20 years ago, you didn't hear that, right? It is
no doubt.
It's completely changed. I think the NAI in particular has done a really good job with that.
Yeah, and I think it starts with, you know, all the university presidents and boards, and, you know, filters down, and just the people that are in these programs, the head coaches, the athletic directors. So many are in this, you know, for that reason, to help develop young people. And I think it's what makes our level, you know, just a little bit more unique. I think that's at every level, but I really see it just university and program wide, you know, everywhere we go and all the coaches we meet, just so many more people just focused on that development piece of young people. And it really stands out at this level.
Well, Coach, I really appreciate you giving me a few minutes this morning. You've always been a big supporter of the show, and I really appreciate that a lot. Wish you luck as you head into that buzzsaw this year. Let me see when you kick off. Oh, October 23rd. Oh, boy. You're going to play Justice, and then you got an exhibition. You're going to go down to play University of Arizona. How did you snag that?
So I went to U of A, so that's my alma
that's
mater.
right. Okay.
And then I worked. Then I was a manager there. Then I left and went back. So I spent 6 years in Tucson, and then just know the coach as well. Jack Murphy, who's actually the associate head coach, was my boss at Northern Arizona. So I had a chance, you know, to work for him for a year, and then know a couple of the other guys on the staff just through the kind of Arizona basketball tree. So we were fortunate to get that one done. It's going to be, you know, an awesome experience for our guys. Obviously, they're going to be top 15 in the country at the D1 level. So we'll have our hands full for sure, but it's just a great opportunity, you know, especially being in state, but to play a team of that caliber with such a great coach and so many great players. I mean, it's going to be really fun for our guys to just be in that atmosphere. I'm a little biased, but McKale Center is about as good as it gets in college basketball. So just excited for our guys to see that and feel that and get that opportunity, you know, to play on national TV and do all that. Just fun stuff, you know, give our guys a great experience. So we were lucky to get it. It's going to be a tough one for sure, but we're going to be ready for it.
Yeah, and I see you're taking the guys to Florida as well. That'll be a fun trip, if nothing else. 2 tough games though, Southeastern and New College. It's only their second year in the NAI, but I think Andrew's got them loaded up again this season.
No, absolutely. I know you just had him on the other day, and we really want to challenge ourselves, just like we did last year. You know, like I mentioned our schedule a little bit last year, and I think this year, you know, it's going to be difficult as well. We go up and play LC. In Eastern Oregon up at LC's tournament. We go out and play 2 really tough games in Florida, you know, obviously all the way across the country. And play some really good, in-state stuff as well. So play Carroll and play Westcliff, who, was a tournament team last year, and the Cactus Classic. So no, our conference is not, or our non-conference schedule, is not easy. But that's by design. Our conference isn't easy. So I want our guys to be ready to go and give ourselves the best chance, to be prepared when the GSAC play hits. We don't want to be surprised when we roll into Arizona Christian or Hope or Masters or Life Pacific's loaded up now. I mean, it's never easy. So we want to be prepared when we hit the road in conference. And so, it's going to be tough, no doubt about it, but hopefully our guys are ready to roll.
Well, Coach, once again, thank you very much. I really appreciate you giving me the time. That's Coach Ben Tucker. He's the head men's basketball coach at Embry-Riddle. They are the Eagles. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Billy. Really appreciate you having me and everything you do, obviously, for our level and our programs out here. So good luck this year. Excited to get you out here to Arizona here eventually.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your kind words. Thanks a lot. That's Ben Tucker. Thank you, Coach. Hey, thanks a lot to Ben Tucker, also to Embry-Riddle. I really appreciate him on. He's been a big supporter of the show. He's always in contact with me, gives me ideas. I really appreciate that. I'm always stunned when I hear people listen every day, and when you do, I just really appreciate it. Hey, join us again tomorrow. We'll have Tyler Ojanen continue with the Arizona theme. He's out of OUAZ there in Surprise, Arizona. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much for supporting our podcast. Please like and subscribe. Get out to your local NAIA school, because NAIA basketball is the best entertainment value in America.